Welcome back to Amy Kardashian and the Expert Show. I am your host, Amy Kardashian, not Kardashian. And I have a wonderful guest with me on Skype, Meredith Elliott Powell. And we are going to talk about how to succeed no matter what the economy is. And she is a fantastic speaker, author, a coach, and mentor, and all. She qualified to talk about this, and I'm so excited to have her with us here. And let's talk to you about it. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you. I watched some of your speaking videos, and I was so inspired. I was so happy to have you on my show. So, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Absolutely. You know, you started the interview off so beautifully talking about the fact that I am a coach, I am a speaker, I'm an author, and my area of expertise is to help people understand how to navigate the constant shifts and the changes in this global economy. So I'm really a business growth strategist that goes in and works with organizations and helps them really figure out the information that they need to take their organizations next level. But given how volatile and how shifting this economy has gotten, that can get a little bit complicated for people. So I sort of put all those parts together and make it work.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this subject is very important to anyone, not just who's starting a business, who wants to start a business, who is in business. We always have to learn how to adjust to the economy, to technologies, and learn how to keep our businesses healthy. I would say, healthy growth. So therefore, some people, they think, okay, all I need just probably to hire somebody new or to get some new equipment. But then the mindset of the company has to be healthy. Would you agree with that?
I would absolutely, and what a great point. Most people completely miss that. It really begins with the mindset and the mindset of the leadership. You have to make a decision, not only that you're going to be successful, but what that success is going to look like so you can then communicate it to everybody who works in their organization. I mean, you've hit the nail on the head. The first thing that people need is something to buy into, something to believe in, and something to get behind.
Absolutely. So here we are going to give them some steps, some techniques, and to really guide them a little bit, give them taste of what you teach, because I know you have a lot to share. But even if they get a couple of things to walk away with, I'm sure they will be so happy to have some of your knowledge here and wisdom. So.
Well, great. Well, the first thing I like people to understand is the fact that I think we are living in actually great economic times. No matter where you live in this world or what you've decided to do for a living, take a breath, because this is a great economy to succeed in. But there are a few things that you need to know. And number one is that you need to understand that it isn't the product or service that you sell. It's really yourself. I mean, we live in a world right now where I can Google and buy anything I want anywhere in the world, any time of day that I want to. So our products and services, they become a commodity. So it's how we sell them. And this economy is really about one thing, and that's your ability to build relationships. So in order to grow an organization, you've got to understand that the experience of the customer matters, the experience they have in getting attracted to your organization, and the experience they have in working with you. So really understand that the voice of your customers is very important, and having the best and brightest employees around you is incredibly vital to success.
Well, I think you said something very important. Having your employees really feel this is their business as well, in order to help you. So what would you recommend the CEO or just a small business owner that has maybe 5, 6 employees? How would you recommend for them to deal with their employees to make them feel this is their business as well?
Yeah, you are so right. It's the most important thing that a leader can do. I mean, if you have a great employees around you, everything else is going to take care of itself. And so the first thing that they need to do is to create that purpose. I mean, people need something to believe in and something to get behind. If you want them to own your organization, you've got to give them something to get excited about. The next is that you have to give them that ownership. You have to realize that you need to ask for their opinions, their ideas. I'm a firm believer that people support what they help create.
Yes.
So people don't want to be told what to do. They want to be a part of growing your organization. So let's say you've got to increase sales by 10% next year. Rather than just telling them how to do it, the question of what belongs to you as the leader and the question of how, that belongs to the team. Let them have a piece of it. And the last is we really ask our employees to invest in our companies. We've got to invest in them. And I'm not talking about huge training budgets or things like that, but make sure that people know they have a future there and invest in helping them learn a skill, get a mentor, whatever it is. But invest in them before you ask them to invest in you.
That is a very good point. Invest in them before you ask them to invest in you. And when you get their opinion, it makes them feel they're smart. They could really they're someone. They could be like family, basically, helping the organization. So basically, I believe every good leader creates leader. That's the good leader, where you create leaders in your business that they become their own leaders. What do you think about that?
I definitely think that. In fact, I think in this economy, you have to do that. I tell CEOs and leaders that I work with now is we live in a time where the majority of the things that are going to impact the growth of your organization, they're external to your organization. I mean, think about it. Changes in technology, the economy, competition. So leaders today need the freedom to be focused, to see the changes coming. That means they need leaders throughout their organizations. All of our jobs are changing constantly. What you and I are doing right now, it'll be different 6 months from now. The technology will change, something will change. So we have to have people working around us who are constantly growing their leadership and moving to the next level. It's pretty much job one for a leader. You need somebody to fill your shoes because your shoes are going to be different 6 months to a year from now.
Absolutely.
So you've got to develop that.
And if you're not doing that, you're not growing. You're staying where you're at. So when we come back, we are going to go on very short commercial. Great conversation. We will come back and talk more about leadership in your business. So we'll be right back.
Are you frustrated and wasting time searching for high-quality education and entertainment and not finding it? Stop wasting your time. We've got your solution. Our 3 dynamic and unique online TV shows provide you with high-quality and easy-to-find content. Everything from business skills and self-development to book and movie reviews and everything in between. At akexpertstv.com, you'll find high-quality experts in their field, in one place, at no cost to you. Visit www.akexpertstv.com today.
And we are back from that short commercial. I did not really want to didn't want to go to the short commercial because I was so enjoying talking to you. And we're just having conversation, really. And that's beautiful when that happens, because that's exactly what you're teaching is have conversations with your employees. Don't make them feel they're separate than you are, because they're part of you. They're part of your business, basically. So give us more insights and to help everyone listening to follow those insights. So,
it's funny when I work with leaders, I think on the surface, we know how important our employees are, but dealing with employees can be challenging. It's dealing with human beings, and that always can be challenging, right? But I want leaders to understand that if you focus your time and energy on surrounding the best and the brightest individuals around you, great employees will drive cash flow, they will improve the customer experience, and they will create efficiencies and effectiveness in your organization. Every challenge that you are going to face as the leader in the next 5 years can be solved by attracting the best and the brightest employees around you. So I think that's one of the most important things to understand, that I don't care who's listening to us. You could give me arguments all day long as to why you don't have time to invest in your employees, but it's the most important decision. In fact, I think it's a deal breaker. You won't be here 5 years from now if you don't put it at the top of your list. But to attract great employees, you've got to understand today's employee. And everybody seems to think it's a generational issue, like something's wrong with these younger kids. But I don't know about you. My dad sat at the kitchen table and said the exact same thing about my generation. We had no work ethic. We wouldn't get anywhere, the same thing. There's nothing wrong with this younger generation. There's great employees at every age. You just have to know what they're looking for. And what they're looking for is, well, number one, let me say, when I was growing up, probably when you were growing up, we believed that if we got a job, we would have it for a lifetime. Well, guarantees off the table. We all know at any moment our businesses can be sold, merged, acquired, downsized. So what employees want is skin in the game. They want to be a part of growing your organization. They want to feel like they're doing work that matters, and they want to feel like they're making a difference.
That's great. They want to feel that they're making a difference. Now, what I noticed too in the business world, some people wants to give someone to do things that they're not good at it, or they're not. Everybody could do everything, but are they shine in that particular area? And then I see a lot of people giving jobs to the person who does not like to do that kind of job, or that's not where they excel, that's not where they shine. And you give them something, they're not their happy place. So would you agree for all the leaders to recognize their employees and where to put them? For example, you can give someone to be secretary, but she's not good at secretary. Maybe she's good at sales. Yeah. So probably study their personality. Take your time to see where they can help you, instead of saying, "This is what I want you to help me with."
Mm-hmm. Is that correct? I think that's so important. And I think, first of all, I think employees need to take a little bit more ownership in raising their hands and saying what they're interested in and what they're good at. And I think with leaders, we can give employees an opportunity to try jobs on for size. Let's say I did want to bring somebody in as my secretary or assistant. Allow them maybe to mentor, to be mentored in that position, get exposed to some of those things firsthand to see if they like it. The bigger piece that I think that really is behind that, though, is that we get so locked into the fact that a job description or a position is one certain way. And let's use the example you used as secretary. Mm-hmm. Let's assume that you have a job opening as a secretary and I've done a good job for you, so you want to promote me to that position. But there are pieces of that that I'm not good at. There are pieces of it that I'm amazing at. Well, why not change up the job description a little bit so that it can fit me? You know, it's going to be so difficult to get great employees going down the line. You're going to be lucky to have them. It's going to be like great customers. So we need to be open to not being so locked in to what the job description says, and being more open to suit the types of not only current skills our employees have, but maybe there are things that I'd like to do. I mean, maybe as your secretary, I want to do some sales, or I want to try event planning. Being open to spread that job description and give me a chance to do some different things.
Yeah, give you a chance. That's what it is. Give them a chance to tell you what they like to do. If you
Yes.
don't know, I mean, if you know their personality, don't force them to do something they're not going to be happy doing it. So try to find something that fits their personality so they could light up. And when they're lighting up, then your business lights up.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, in years of training salespeople, just because you would use that example, I have found people that were better at finishing the sale and following through in the customer service. I called those people who didn't want to come out of the office. I don't care what I promised them, I couldn't get them on the street selling. And people who love to be on the street selling, I couldn't get them in the office. So you're absolutely right. You've got to go with what people are good at. And when we paired them up as the person who wanted to be on the street combined with the person who wanted to do the details, they were an amazing team.
Yeah, exactly.
But you got to be open to that.
Yeah, you're going to have to be open to that and not just go as a leader, well, this is because I'm a leader, I know what I'm talking about. This is what I want, is what the person can give you. So the table, things are shifting now. Before 20, 30 years ago, it was what the employer wanted you to do.
Yes.
I want you to do this, I'm looking for this, and that's it. But now is what the employee can offer you. So because we're becoming more partner,
Yes.
would you agree
Yeah,
that life is changing,
yeah.
like you're saying?
Just like customers are in control of the buying cycle, just like customers can buy anything anywhere, great employees can work anywhere. I mean, you know, when I was growing up, the only people who owned businesses were older men. Now I go out on the street and half the people I know who own businesses are 20 years old. So if you don't like what your employer is offering, you can go out and start your own business or go to work for another business, or I can be living in Asheville, North Carolina, and I can work for a company, you know, based in the United Kingdom. So great employees have so many more choices these days. So you got to realize as an employer, you're not in control. You've got to be willing to adapt.
Yeah, that's a very good word you said. You're not in control anymore. Life is changing. You
Completely.
mentioned this a couple of times, and I 100% agree with you, because the mindset of the new generation, it's different than what it was 30 years ago. You know, the mindset is changing, and people having opportunity to work and love doing what they're doing without feeling I am employee. I have to go from 9 to 5. People working secretaries or a personal assistant now. If I'm living in Las Vegas, I have someone helping me from San Diego. You know, they don't have to be employees and showing up anymore.
Yeah,
You know?
and people they just definitely know that they have a choice, and if they're not happy, they'll move on. I deal with a lot of employers right now, and one of the biggest challenges is the commute to work. I mean, I don't know what it's like for you in Las Vegas, but pretty much everywhere I go around the world, the traffic is horrible. And employers some employers are struggling to allow people to work flexible hours or work from home a couple of days. And it just always makes me laugh, because I think, you know, your best employees are going to move on. They're not going to spend 4 or 5 hours a day in a car going back and forth to a job where a boss is not listening to them, that this isn't making them happy. Yeah. And so, you know, it's being willing to change how you employ people is going to be very important going forward.
Oh, absolutely. I already could see where you are a great leader in that regard, because you're not staying in the old mindset. You're switching and you're teaching what's going on now in the new generation, because obviously we're hiring younger and You know, things are shifting, so it's not the same thing you teach 10 years ago you're teaching
Yeah.
today. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm liking a lot, what you're sharing with us. What else
Well,
can you
you,
give us?
but I was just going to say, I mean, I want to strike that point because what you said is so important. The biggest problem that I see with people is not that not that they're not working hard, not that they're giving it everything it's that they're using out of date strategies. They're still using
Thank you.
leadership techniques designed for the old way that
Old
we
ways.
led. And it's like trying to dig a hole with a teaspoon. And that's what I want to do is spread the message of you can be incredibly successful, but you've got to adopt these new strategies.
Yeah, you're gonna have to adapt what's going on now. Even talking, I mean, we are leaders in so many different ways. Even if you don't have a business, we led ourselves since when we were a kid. Really, we got what we wanted, and you're leading your husband, you're leading your friend, or you're leading your daughter or son. Leading. We lead each other all day long if you stop and think about it. But if we don't know how to adjust to the new way of leading, we will not be happy campers. Would you agree with that?
I will, and I think we'll be left behind.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's, in a world where there's so much change and there's so much shift, in a world that's gone global, if you don't keep up, we're going to read about you in the history books. That's how we're going to learn about you.
Yeah. Well,
I just dated myself. We're going to read about you when we Google history on the computer.
yeah. I'm, for example, I let my daughter different than when she's leading her kids now. And
Yeah.
I step back and I say, okay, well, that's your way of leading. That's because it's different generation.
Yeah, that's right.
You have
That's
to
a
let them
challenge.
be. You have to let them be. You can't be in the same mindset. If I have to lead, my daughter has to lead her daughter the way I led her when we didn't have a cellular phone, it's a different generation. It's a different way. So we have to really adapt to that. Wow, what a beautiful conversation we're having here.
I know. I love it. I love it.
Okay, what else can you share with us?
Well, something that I think that it's important for business owners to know, not only about the customer experience and about employees, but the importance of getting above the white noise and getting found. I think that business owners, another big shift that has happened is that we need to be the expert in our field. What happens today is if I want to buy a product or I want to buy a service, for the most part, even if it's just down the street from me, I'm going to Google about it first. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go online to see what I can find. And if you aren't there as a business owner, then again, you could be next door to my business. I'm not going to buy from you. Because what we find online is how we make decisions today. So consumers are going to the internet and they're putting in questions, how do I put a roof on my house? How do I program my computer? How do I get on television to do an interview? Whatever it is. And you need to be popping up for the services you sell. You need to be popping up with the content. People need to be finding you with information about the problems they solve. They need to see you as an expert before you ever talk to them.
That's a very good point. Maybe what you're saying, your website needs to tell about you and your personality, your employees, your services, and how you make them feel better just by being on your website, the feel of your business. The feel has to go through now basically the look of your website, how you represent yourself.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. When I was growing up, when the spring comes, we would go to the nursery or the flower shop to get plants to put into the ground. Now what happens today is that I would decide that spring was coming and I would start to Google online to see what I can plant in March, what I can plant in April. And even though I'm probably going to buy things from my local nurser, they've got to be popping up online with that information, articles on how to get ahead of the gardening season, how to prep your soil for gardening season. Whoever is owning that space is who I'm going to buy the product from. And that's what business owners need to understand today, is that you're competing with people all over the world. And whatever it is that you sell, it all looks vanilla to the person who's buying it. So they're looking for a reason to choose you. And that reason is content.
To know that you're expert on that. So if I'm going to buy this flower from there, they're going to help me more deeper how to do it and when to do it. They're going to give me some knowledge. So yes, your website and blogging and let people know and put information. And some people say, okay, I don't want to put too much information, then they're not going to come to me. It's the opposite you're saying.
Yes. Yeah. It's the, again, when people go online, they want their problems solved. They want solutions provided. And you need to be the person providing that. I always say to people that buying anything today is becoming like shopping like the cereal aisle of the grocery store. And in the cereal aisle of the grocery store, there's 1,000 things, 1,000 ways people have packaged a cornflake. Everything looks the same. It's the same for us in business. And that content and that subject matter expert that we are, it differentiates us from every other box of cornflake. And we've got to think about doing that. People, like right now, while we've been doing this television show, people have been Googling, looking for the next product or service that they're going to buy. And if our names aren't popping up, then by the time we make the sales call, we're behind the 8 ball. We've already missed half the sales process because they've gotten the information, they've moved down the line. We need to be out in front of the sale, owning our space, owning our niche, and being the expert in the area of our product. And it's the biggest piece of the sales process that I see business owners missing today.
Wow. So starting with your employees, work with them, put them in the places where they could shine and feel good and feel productive. And build a relationship, basically, you're saying, with them. And then the next thing you're saying is have your information. Give them information. Let them know who you are. Let them know why they need to come to your store more than going or buying online because there is no customer service there. If they go down, they're going to talk to people. So all this is very helpful, and that's how we are going to compete. Is that what you're saying? We compete
Absolutely.
by being the best we can be.
Yes, you compete by, you said it in the exact right order. You've got to begin by building the best and the brightest team around you, attract the best employees, and then you've got to work on getting above the white noise, standing out from your competition, and giving customers a reason to choose you.
And I want everyone to choose you. So we need to give them your information. Can you give us your website and how they can connect with you?
Well, I would love to do that. And I really hope that people do connect with me. I love to engage and I love people to ask me questions. They can find me at my website, which is valuespeaker.com, just the word valuespeaker.com. It has all my social networking sites there, and I blog and write a lot, so they'll find a lot of information there as well.
I did. I went to your website and I saw like really perfectly displayed everything what you do and everything you have, and it was beautiful done. So you're walking the talk, right? You're teaching, but then you're doing what you're teaching, and that's what I admire people when they don't just talk, they show you by example and be by the example that they're really what they're teaching. Thank you so much for being with us. I really would love to have you again.
I would love to come back.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe you can come live next time.
Oh, I would love that as well. I'm in Vegas quite a bit.
Here you go. So we should connect, okay? Thank you so much again. And for all of you, Happy New Year. I hope this information really opened your mind and your heart to connect with your employees, make your year very valuable for everyone, because when we do that, we all succeed. There is no losers when we really share and come from the heart and let our employee feel home and they're part of our family. So thank you so much for being with us, and you are part of my family. All of you who's watching right now, I hope you're walking away with something that empowered you. Happy New Year, and I'll see you next year.